Welcome back. You're watching Overdrive. The Sunny has been a household name the world over for almost half a century. The car did well in India after its launch in 2011, but after that sales started to dwindle, largely on account of the sales and marketing deal that Nissan had with Hoover in India, which didn't really go very far. But since February this year, Nissan has decided to take matters into its own hands, and it's also launched a facelifted version of the car. Jamshed went down to the exotic Andaman Islands to bring you his first impressions.
The Nissan brand is at a crossroad in India. Not only is it dealing with the fresh success of its new compact SUV, the Terrano, it's also dealing with the revival of a whole brand from the stable, the Datsun brand. So it's only natural to feel that some of the products like the Nissan Sunny would feel a little bit neglected. Now, despite the global success of the Sunny for decades now, in India it's not done as well as Nissan had hoped it would. Well, now Nissan has given it a new fresh lease in life, and we're here in the beautiful islands of Andaman and Nicobar to find out how big that change really is. The most evident change to the new Nissan Sunny is the new face. There's a sharper and larger headlamp unit following the boomerang design theme seen on various other Nissan models internationally. The boxy grille mimics the styling seen on the more premium Altima and Tiana sedans. There's an abundance of chrome which adds a bit of elegance and presence, especially with the contrasting darker shades of paint. The fender design has been cleverly integrated into the new bumper and headlamp. The side profile isn't all that new, with the only additions being the new Y-shaped alloy wheels that look unique. The rear end has a few modifications to the bumper and some chrome garnishing, but the taillight unit remains the same. On the insides too, the new Sunny gets its fair share of changes. So you have the center console, which is now finished in piano black, much like in the new Micra. You still have the circular climate control unit, much like, well, you're used to seeing in Nissan cars nowadays. You have a new, slightly modified gear shift knob. The instrument cluster is now backlit in white color. There's an all-new steering wheel with a triangular design. It's a 3-spoke wheel, which is quite smart according to me. It gets functional steering mounted controls as well. But the real USP for the Sunny has always been its interior space, and well, in the new Sunny that hasn't changed. Especially for the rear passengers, I think this is one of the most spacious cars in its segment. Right, in terms of the powertrain options, not a lot has changed. So you still have the same HR15 petrol engine and the diesel K9K motor on offer just as before. The HR15 petrol engine hasn't been changed at all, but the diesel K9K now gets an ECU remap for further improving the fuel efficiency. Both engines are mated to the same 5-speed manual gearbox, and the petrol engine retains the CVT automatic as well. Now, if you intend to drive this car on your own, I'd suggest you go in for the petrol engine with the manual gearbox. This petrol engine is nice and peppy. It's got about, say, around about 100 PS of max power. And well, the manual gearbox specifically because the CVT, although is more efficient than the manual option, but the CVT isn't as fun to drive. Now, we keep talking about the rubber band effect and, you know, the fact that the revs keep on building, but the car really is going nowhere. Well, that continues to be the problem with the CVT petrol. Now, the diesel engine, on the other hand, is the same 1.4 litre K9K engine that you've seen on many Renault Nissan products. Now, on some of these products, this engine makes in excess of 120 to 130 PS of max power. On this, it makes only about 86 PS of max power. And now with this ECU tweak, it's further inclined towards efficiency. Now, this power might not seem inadequate as such, but you load up the car and find yourself a slope, and you're going to find yourself wanting just a little bit more power. If we speak about the dynamics, nothing much has changed because you have the same suspension setup, the same dimensions and the same tires. Now, one thing we must absolutely give credit to Nissan for is that they've made safety a priority by offering ABS, EBD and a driver airbag as standard across all variants. In fact, the top-end XV variant also gets passenger and side airbags. So not only does it boast of truckloads of interior room and boot space, it is also one of the safest cars in this segment. And these are features that make it quite lucrative as a family sedan.
The Nissan Sunny has always been a very unique offering to the Indian car market. Now, it was always priced a little bit on the higher side, but what it offered was plenty of interior space, some essential safety features as standard fitment across all its variants, some very nice convenience features as well. So what it's been able to do is carve a niche for itself within its segment. Now there's this other thing that the Sunny brand benefits from, which I personally feel that Nissan India has failed to capitalize on, is heritage. Now, the Sunny, since its launch in 1966, has been a very strong foot soldier for the Nissan brand across the world. I think this is something that the Nissan India has failed to, get across to the Indian customers. Well, now with its split with Hoover, Nissan will take over the marketing and sales of all its products. Will that spell a different story for the new Sunny in India? Let's wait and find out.